First, we'd like to give you a little bit of information about living on campus at Storrs. We have approximately 12,700 students who live on campus, which is about 70% of the total undergraduate population. On any given day, we can have up to 40,000 people on campus, including faculty, staff, and students. It is very important when you contact our office for you to identify who you are and why you are calling. This helps us to provide you with accurate information and assistance. We have a high demand for on-campus housing due to the community and variety in living areas. The University of Connecticut has a residency requirement. All campus change students are required to live on campus at Storrs for their first academic year. For students campus changing for the fall of 2020, the requirement is for the fall 2020 and spring 2021 semesters. There are some reasons that a student who is campus changing to Storrs may qualify for an exemption to the residency requirement. Students who plan to commute from home and live within 60 miles of the Storrs campus, students who will be over 21 at the start of the fall semester, students who are married or have children, students who have a medical need that cannot be accommodated in on-campus housing, students who demonstrate that living on campus would present an insurmountable financial burden, students who are military veterans, and students with religious needs that cannot be accommodated on campus. For more information about the residency requirement and the residency requirement exemption process, please visit our website. Let's talk about some important tips for your campus change and housing application. Work on your approval documentation for campus change early. The deadline for both your campus change approval and your housing application are the same, March 6th, 2020. After you have done your campus change application, log in to My Housing and complete the 2020-2021 current student application for housing. The January 20th deadline you see listed was for current Storrs residents. Campus change students who complete the application and are approved for campus change by March 6th will be considered on-time applicants. You should expect to have a roommate and begin to think about how you will share space with another person and how you can navigate roommate conflicts or concerns. Be sure to complete the Sharing Space online module. This module has interviews with Storrs residents with their tips and advice for navigating roommate conflicts and concerns. Know how to ask for help and who to ask. Be sure to use staff as a resource. In our halls, we have residence hall directors. These are full-time professional staff members who live in the area and manage the residence halls. We also have resident assistants, or RAs, on campus. These students live in the halls with residents and serve as a resource for information and can assist with housing concerns. There is also the Residential Services Office and the Operations Center. This is the housekeeping and maintenance staff who clean and repair concerns in the residence buildings. The Operations Center is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and students can call for assistance with maintenance issues. Think about how you can get involved once you arrive to the Storrs campus. Joining a club or group will help you make connections and learn how to navigate the campus. Be sure to read your UConn email on a regular basis. Your UConn email address is the main method of communication for many offices on campus. If you do not check your email regularly, you may miss important deadlines and information. If you have your UConn email address forwarded directly to another email address, you may miss important emails as they may be sent to spam. Deadlines are deadlines, and if you do not see an email, the deadline will still apply. Next, we will talk about selection times and some general selection information. The selection process will run from 9 a.m. on March 30th through 11:59 p.m. on April 20th. You can select your housing assignment beginning at your selection time through the end of the process. Selection times will be available in your My Housing account in mid-March. Selection times are based on class standing and earned credits. This means that credits you are taking in the spring semester will not count towards your selection time. Students with the same amount of credits will select in a randomized order. You can select housing with another campus change approved student or a Storrs student as long as they are eligible and also participating in the selection. Once you select a space, you cannot change your selection. Take your time and be sure you are selecting the space that you want. The first step for the selection process is to select your roommate. You must add or confirm your roommates before choosing a space or being pulled into a space, if you wish to live with a specific person or people. All roommate requests must be mutual. You can only match with students who are eligible for selection. Once you are matched with a roommate, you can pull your roommate group into a space, or you can be pulled into a space by another member of your group. The second step is to select your space. You can access the selection process on My Housing, beginning at your selection time. Once you select or are pulled into a space, you cannot change your assignment during the selection process. More information on roommate selection and selecting your room can be found on our website as we get closer to the selection process. Some important notes about the selection time and choosing your housing assignment. If you are not able to select a space during your selection time, please contact our office and request a proxy. A member of our staff will select for you using your housing preferences and selection times. It is important to request an official proxy from our office because if we make a mistake, we will work to correct it. If you have a friend or parent select for you and a mistake is made, we will not correct the error. You may be consolidated within your building or area if there are multiple spaces with vacancies. We may consolidate continuing students together to leave spaces for incoming new students to live together. If you do not use your time and do not choose housing, you will be assigned by a Residential Life staff member. Please visit the Selection Central section of our website for more tutorials and information about the selection process. It is important to have realistic expectations for your selection time. We have less than 500 singles on campus. It is extremely unlikely that you will be able to select a single during the process. There are not enough apartment spaces on campus for the entire senior class. Depending on your credits, you may not be able to find a space in an apartment. The more students in your roommate group, the more difficult it may be to find a space together. You can have a roommate group of up to 6 students, but as students begin selecting spaces individually, there will be fewer suite spaces with 6 open spaces. Think about multiple options for selection. If you cannot find a suite together for your full roommate group, how will you split up? Would you prefer to live close to one another or in a specific type of space? Think about what is more important to you, where your room is, the type of room, or the people you are living with. Here are some frequently asked questions about campus changing and housing at Storrs. What is the deadline to have my campus change approved and/or my housing application submitted? The deadline for both of these things is March 6th. Can I select housing with a current Storrs student? Yes, as long as you are both eligible for selection. You will need to request each other as roommates and be matched when going into the selection. Am I guaranteed housing if I have previously lived on the Storrs campus? Students who have previously lived on campus at Storrs will be guaranteed as a part of the residency requirement. However, students who have previously lived on campus at Storrs may not be eligible to participate in the selection process. Please email or call our office if you have further questions. What should I do if I require a medical accommodation? Please contact the Center for Students with Disabilities to register for your medical needs, and the CSD will work with our office to determine an appropriate space. The priority deadline to connect with the CSD is the end of February. What if I require summer registration to be approved for campus change? Summer registration dates typically. If you have any questions we did not cover in this video, or questions that are specific to your situation, please feel free to contact our office.